Hey guys, I'm here with Micah today because I've been struggling with my short game, and he's going to walk me through the difference between chipping and pitching, when to use it, and some tips to practice.
So chipping and pitching, there's a lot of different scenarios that can dictate when you would do each. I would say the biggest one is going to be what lie you have on the course and what your shot looks like. So starting off with your chips, those are going to be a much lower trajectory shot that are going to roll out a lot more. Very nice to use if you have a lot of green to work with, no obstacles in between you. Now the pitch shot is something that has a lot more loft, is going to stop a lot quicker once it hits the putting surface. And that's a good option if you have, say, like a sand trap in between you and your target.
So for the first shot, we're about 25 yards from the pin and we're on a tighter lie, which I just learned means that the grass is shorter. And for me, when I'm taking this shot, I know that I have a big problem controlling my low point. I typically will hit behind the ball. And so Micah, that's what you're working with today. How should I approach this shot?
So those are all very common things that I hear a lot of, Lexi. So one, when you're on a tight lie, having a 60 degree in your hand of what you've been trying to use, it does not have a lot of bounce on it. So if you don't hit it really good, that's going to have a tendency to dig.
So what does bounce mean?
So bounce is the leading edge or the angle of the leading edge relative to the turf.
Okay.
So a higher bounce club is going to allow you to essentially hit behind that ball a little bit and not dig that club into the turf.
Okay.
So one option we have, especially like the lie you have here where it's a nice lie, you don't have anything in your way, and we have option as far as green to roll. I'm actually going to hand you your 9-iron.
Okay.
I'm going to take the lob wedge from you. I want you to set up on this like you would a normal chip shot, or how you would normally go about this. Now, a couple of things we're going to change is because we're not worried about loft, I want you to go ahead and get that handle leaned more towards the target.
Okay.
Good. Now we're going to narrow that stance up a little bit because we're not trying to hit it hard, so we don't need a huge swing. Now, outside of that, ball position looks good. It's in the center of the stance. We want to be careful not to put it too far forward or too far back.
Okay.
Now from here, obviously because we have a 9-iron and it's only 25 yards, you're going to take a really little swing. You can almost treat it kind of like a putt.
Okay.
I want you to pick a target out maybe 4 or 5 yards just barely onto the screen. You're going to plan on this thing rolling most of the way to the ball.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and take a couple strokes there.
Okay. I'm going to take a practice swing first. So when you say take this one like a putt, would I focus on keeping my arms a little straighter and almost like an extended putting stroke?
Yeah, absolutely. So don't worry about like hinging your wrists or trying to get the club head too far off the ground. Again, you have a 9-iron in hand and you told me this is a 25-yard shot.
Yeah.
We just need a little tiny swing.
Okay, cool. Does that look good?
Looks great.
Well.
Now that first one, Lexi, is a really good example of you hit behind that ball, right?
I did.
So we didn't hit it good, but I want you to look, we are still putting.
Yeah.
Right? Now you're not hitting another chip and you don't have that embarrassment of like, oh, I hit that a whole 4 inches in front of me. Now I have like a beaver pelt sitting on top of my ball, right?
Yeah.
That's why this is a really good option in this scenario.
For beginner players who maybe have a tough time with low point, would you say that the chip, where you're just doing a little bit more of a smaller putting stroke, is a higher percentage shot than, say, a pitch?
Absolutely. And when we talk anything in the golf swing, typically when we can limit the amount of movement you're making and the amount of variables that you have to pick from, the shot tends to get much, much easier.
Okay, cool. Let me try it again and see if I can do a little better.
Beautiful, Lexi.
Wow, I may hole out. I'm super happy with that shot.
I think we found a new chipping technique.
I think we did too. All right, we have teleported. We have the same distance shot, so we're still about 25 yards, but we do have a sand trap in between. So Micah's going to walk me through how to approach this one.
Yeah, so again, same yardage. So we are only going to change the type of shot we're hitting.
Okay.
Obviously, with this hazard in front of us, with this trap, we need to get the ball up in the air. And then if our pin is short-sighted like it is up there, we don't have a lot of green to roll out. So when that ball lands, we need it to stop quickly.
Okay.
So for that reasoning, a lot of this is going to be club selection and then just how you're setting up for this shot.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch you from that 9-iron. I'm going to give you your most lofted wedge, so that's your 60 or your lob wedge. I'm going to switch you spots and we're going to set up a ball here and we're going to kind of talk through what adjustments you need to make in order to get this ball just more loft.
Okay, sounds good.
So once you get set up on that ball for me, a couple different things. we don't want the handle super far lean towards our target, because
okay.
that's going to de-loft the club and take out all of the loft that we have on this lob wedge.
Okay.
So having this handle more upright like you do here, you'll see how your hands are more in line with the club head instead of being 2-3 inches out in front.
Yeah.
So that's a good starting position. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to open this face up just a touch. When we open that face up, that's going to help you use more of that bounce on that wedge I had mentioned,
okay.
which is going to make it easier for you to get through this rough and get the ball up in the air.
Sounds good. And sometimes when I look at my wedge when it's super open, it makes me a little nervous because it feels like it's aimed more to the right. Does that necessarily matter in this scenario?
Not in this scenario, because you're taking a much steeper swing.
Okay.
And we're taking a much smaller swing too, so we're not too worried about the path you're taking.
Okay.
Now, once you get set up and comfy, one last thing I want you to do is just narrow up that stance just a little bit. And now the key thing I want you to focus on, I'm going to move this ball for just a second. In the follow through, we're going to try and keep the butt end of the club as close to your lead hip as possible.
Okay.
Good, just like that. If we don't do that, you're going to create a lot of lead wrist flexion. That lead wrist flexion, again, is going to take bounce away from the club, and it's going to take loft away from the club. Two things that we definitely want for this shot.
So maybe this type of thing?
Yeah, just like that.
And I also have a question on the stance. So why is it that you narrow your stance when you're not hitting as far?
So narrower stance doesn't allow you to rotate as much as a wider stance. So for that reasoning, rotation is a big power component of the swing.
Okay.
So when I have you take that narrower stance, it kind of limits the amount that you can turn.
Okay.
Makes it a little easier for you to focus on what you're doing with your hands and where you're hitting the ground at.
Okay, that makes sense. Cool, should I try to pop one out there?
Yeah, let's try and pop a couple out there whenever you're ready. This is where I want you to try and hit the ground with that club. Nice, Lexi.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That was great. And okay, I think, like you were saying, where you look right in front of the ball, that helped me a lot because I didn't even look at the ball in my setup. I was looking at that spot, and I always hit behind the ball, and that really helped me to make contact.
And if you open up that face a little bit more than what you did on that last one, that'll help add a little loft and take some of that distance out of that shot. Beautiful, Lexi.
Wow.
Nice touch.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Next time you're out on the course, be sure to practice your chip and your pitch, and let us know down below what shots you want us to break down next.